In anticipation of the update that will allow you and your friends to play together in ranked 3v3, today we're going to take a look at some hyper-competitive 3v3 action in a ranked match that I experienced earlier today. We're going to figure out exactly what we can do to improve your game by identifying some of the key principles that leads to a team's success. The match actually gets off to a rocky start with me being destroyed immediately off of the break and the opposing team quickly and easily scoring the first goal. My team is clearly on the heels and it's imperative that we get the momentum back. Now this is a pre-update film, so the guys that I'm playing with aren't my friends and we haven't done any prior coordination. That said, we still managed to work very effectively together. Here you see as the ball comes back down the field, I managed to pop it up and direct it away from the goal. Our goalie comes out and makes a play on the ball, and so myself and Skrillex quickly take up defensive positions, easily rotating simply because we know it's the right thing to do. Next, I back up into the goal and see that the goalie has actually returned, which frees me to push forward. Never leave the goal undefended. That doesn't necessarily mean that the goalie needs to sit directly in front of the goal the entire time, but it does always mean that someone needs to be back prepared to play defense, so that when the guys on offense miss a play like you just saw me do, there's someone on defense to save the day. Because I know there's someone on defense, it frees me to play a little bit more aggressively. Here you see I push the ball all the way down into the corner, and I'm trying to work for an opportunity to cross the ball to the center. The orange team is playing some really effective defense and continues to manage to push the ball back down the field, but because we're running that zone offense that we discussed in the last video, we know that we have a defender back that is going to be able to prevent the team from scoring. So far we have a really competitive but low scoring game. I was really taken aback by how effective and fast the other team was. But our defender Janu continues to make some really good plays. Here you saw me make a key mistake. I was actually in the same zone as my other teammate, and as a result, when I went to make a play on the ball, I knocked him out of the way and potentially removed a scoring opportunity. But now I've gone back to that A zone and I'm looking for a chance to cross the ball to the center. But my teammate has come in behind me in that A zone when he should still be playing towards the center of the field. And as soon as the other team began to push the ball back down the field, I collapsed back to the goal. It's a safe bet, generally speaking, that when the opposing team manages to drive the ball down the field towards your goal, if you're unsure of where your defender is located, always collapse back to the goal and then break out from there into your defensive posture. Right now I know that I have a teammate in the goal, a teammate at the ball, and so I'm lagging behind and playing the center of the field. I go for an aerial to try to push the ball back into the offensive zone, but miss the opportunity. It's not the end of the world though, because I know I still have a teammate on defense who can make the save and then play on the ball should it become necessary. Now when the ball lagged in the middle of the field, I quickly tried to push it out of the way because the most dangerous place for that ball to be is in the defensive zone and center. And here we got a fast break and I managed to score. You might think that I stole the goal from my teammate, but in fact he was moving very slowly and there was a defender coming to knock the ball away, so the only way I could ensure that we scored is if I boosted aggressively and took the shot away from him. Now the goalie, Skrillex, has made out to make a play on the ball, but he actually made a mistake, but fortunately I was standing by in reserve to make that play and push the ball down the field. Now I'm in the corner working to get across, but unfortunately my teammate wasn't in the right zone. This is why it's so imperative to have a person in the A and the B and the C zone, because when I finally did manage to make the cross, there was no one there to make the play on the ball and potentially score. Now my teammate makes a play on the ball, I'm in the A zone, come around behind and look like I have a scoring opportunity, but the ball's ricocheted at the last second and we find ourselves back on defense, but it's okay because we still have a defender playing the C zone. I get a little overzealous here and actually end up crowding the zone that Skrillex is in, and so when the ball bounces back into the B zone, I am not in the correct location to continue pushing the ball down the field. The number one principle in Rocket League is teammates should almost never be at the same place at the same time. You've got to play the field, you've got to spread the ball around, and if two teammates are playing at the same place at the same time, neither teammate is in a position to make a play on the ball whenever the ball bounces out. We've got 40 seconds left in regulation, and it looks like we're going to generate a last-minute scoring opportunity, but unfortunately, I was going too quickly. I got overzealous with my attempted aerial, and I missed the scoring opportunity, and we end up back on defense, but fortunately, because we have a defender playing the C-zone, we continuously push the ball from defense back into offense. That is why it is so important at all times to make sure that if you're playing aggressive offense, and really under any circumstances, you have a defender back. So, with 10 seconds left in regulation of the game, we now find ourselves heading into overtime. Overtime is a sudden death game, so first goal wins. Different teams will approach this differently, but generally speaking, I find it better to be more aggressive than passive in overtime because it tends to overwhelm the team. If you've played Rocket League competitively, you know that in these tight moments, your blood actually does start pumping, and there is a huge benefit to pushing the opposing team on their heels. You see there, I made a pretty decent shot on goal and even anticipated the goalie's block. So in anticipation of that block, I popped up into an aerial, hoping that I would be able to keep the ball in play and even maybe score. I wasn't able to do that, and they actually pushed the ball back into their offensive zone, our defensive, but our defenders managed to push the ball back down the field. Now we're rotating again. I see the B zone is covered and there's an opportunity to center, so I make a play on the ball, but unfortunately my teammate and I collide and we rotate back onto defense, but I continue the forecheck knowing that even if I am beaten, we do have a man back on defense. Fortunately, that forecheck pays off and presents us with an opportunity to score once again. I slide over into the B zone. I'm looking for the opportunity to cross, and again, hoping my teammate is going to be in position in the A zone to make the shot, but he is not there. Additionally, I am beaten by the defenders. We finally do manage that cross, but before we can get the ball in front of the goal, the goalie pushes it away with a strong kick. I try to get the ball away from our goal, but in the process make a terrible play, essentially freezing the ball in front of our goal, but our defenders are in the right place at the right time. We are now 1 minute and 22 seconds into overtime, and the game is still very close with both teams playing very well. I am in the A zone now, trying to work the ball down the field. I cross it all the way over into the B zone, but I'm unable to control it, and unfortunately my teammate wasn't there to make the play. They push it back into the defensive zone. The ball centers itself as we bounce it back and forth and back and forth. But finally, an opportunity to break through comes whenever I get a good clear and I continue to push the ball down the field. I understand that the ball is about to ricochet, so it's up to me to keep it in play. I knock a good aerial, put the ball back on target, their goalie whiffs, and I finish off the game with an easy close range goal. Guys, I know I was doing a whole lot of talking. I hope that through the talk and through the play, you were able to glean some benefit from this commentary. I enjoy making high quality content for Rocket League, including analysis, news, gameplay, montages, and tutorials. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more stuff like it, make sure to check out some of my other videos and also consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks so much for checking out this video, and until next time, this is Controlled Pairs, signing off.